welcome to This Is. Everyone knows that developers make games perfectly the first try. No bugs or anything ever.
Bugs are just a figment of your imagination. We're going to be determining how many of the most famous bugs and or Easter eggs in all of gaming history were actually great or buggy.
Bug or feature, baby. Let's get into it. The WoW Corrupted Blood. So, in 2005, there was a raid boss who had a debuff called the Corrupted Blood. What it was a STD.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What were you doing with this boss?
What it would do, it would bounce from player to player to player. Due to a bug that it would go to sometimes player pets, and then if they left the raid, it's supposed to, like, when you leave the raid, it's supposed to just be done.
Yeah.
However, someone left the raid with it on their pet. You use your Hearthstone, which is usually set to something like a capital like Stormwind Ogremar. So now suddenly your STD-ridden pet is infecting the entire city.
And then because on your pet, it would start bouncing from you to player, spreading like an actual real-life virus.
Actual real-life virus. There was like a whole thing in-game where like they were setting up clinics. Come to the steps to get cleansed.
Does it just sort of like knock your HP down? Does it actually, can it kill you?
It kills you.
Oh, it does kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, so then like the game is full of like dead players because this corrupted blood literal virus is spreading everywhere.
The whole like city is dead.
That's awesome.
So, like,
that is so cool.
And then so like when you die in WoW, you have to run back to your body. The problem is you run back to your body and you're just in the middle of Contagion City again. So
oh my God, that's crazy.
Blizzard tried to hot fix this. They had to hard reset the servers. This was so prevalent and so like such a good case study that real disease researchers ended up using this as like how diseases spread. This is actually the real life inspiration for COVID. So,
this is absolutely awesome. I'm so in favor of this. Absolutely a feature. This is great.
I think this is super cool. It brought the community together really good. This is one of those things that made WoW kind of famous.
Yeah.
Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. You know what your latest project needs? An online presence beyond just social media. Squarespace has everything you need to get started building an online home for your brand.
Graphic design not your passion, or you're just really bad at it like me? Well, no worries, because with Squarespace's design intelligence feature, that puts 20 years of design expertise to work, with tools to guide you through every step of the design process, and you can even get help with copywriting.
And if you want to get aesthetic with it, Squarespace has a wide array of built-in visual design effects. It's super easy to pick out and apply that extra design sauce that will elevate your brand's visual language.
It is a breeze to set up your site to sell whatever you want, whether it's your time, your content, or your merchandise. You can easily set up online courses, blogs, and videos behind a paywall, and all you have to do is upload, set the price, and choose if you want a one-time fee or a recurring subscription.
Ready to be a website wizard? Well, check out squarespace.com/thisis to get your free 14-day trial and 10% off your first website or domain. And again, thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's episode.
Missing No was a glitch from the very first generation of Pokemon. One thing to understand about the first generation of Pokemon games, they were incredibly ambitious for the Game Boy, and also they were held together with duct tape, spit, and glue. These games were incredibly glitchy. But one of the most famous ones is to trigger Missing No. The way this would work is that Missing No was not a real Pokemon. There were actually like a number of other placeholders. I think it was up to like 255 or whatever. Missing No is sort of some of the junk data that was either like an unfinished Pokemon or just sort of they filled it up just to sort of have things. Due to a quirk in the programming on the very edge of Cinnabar Island, if you surf up and down, there were no encounters that were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So it would then just pull from random junk data in the memory, and then you would get Missing No. You could actually catch Missing No. It had a type named Bird, which is not a real type. I do remember in the pre-internet days of learning about this from a friend, literally on like the playground. Missing No is incredibly famous. So much so that when they re-released Pokemon Red and Blue on the eShop for the 3DS, they actually didn't fix this.
Just because of how fun it was, I'm going with feature, baby.
Absolutely feature.
Space Invaders speeding up.
This is a really cool, I know this one. This is really cool.
In the original Space Invaders, the invaders move faster the more you shoot down. The reason they sped up was not necessarily the intended way that the developers had done it. They were speeding up because there was less things to render on screen.
I think it was a core fundamental part of the gameplay loop, because if you think about how to play Space Invaders, because every time you would shoot one, it would remove one alien, that CPU cycle would then just speed up.
No. When they developed it,
Yes.
it was not intentional. And then they realize what's happening and go, oh,
This is
now
genius.
let's keep this as a feature.
Exactly. This actually ended up being a core fundamental part of the way the game worked. And I love this so much because it is elegant simplicity. I want to go bug just because I like the little bug graphic, but this is absolutely badass.
Nuclear Gandhi.
Oh, I know this one.
I am a big one with this one too. I am a huge Civilization player. I have somewhere around 2,000 hours logged into Civ.
Wow. And if you've never played Civ, the concept is that you choose one of a number of famous civilizations.
Yes.
Everyone kind of builds and grows, and you can make alliances. Well, shoot, you want to maybe take over another country. And you would think Gandhi, by default, was one of the more peaceful dudes.
In 2012, a user added a bit to the TV tropes page. The claim was that the aggressiveness in the original Civ, and it was basically set to 1. This was just like just an urban legend.
Wait. No, it's not.
People thought it was hilarious, period, that Gandhi would nuke anyone. If you piss off enough of the leaders, they'll nuke you.
Yeah.
But then everyone's just like, Gandhi's nuking me?
But didn't they make this canon later?
Yeah, well, they added it as an Easter egg.
Oh, in later
Civ 5.
games.
Yes.
So basically, if you play a current Civ game, Gandhi will nuke you as soon as he can. But this was never a thing in the early game.
No.
That is crazy. I'm gonna say that's a bug of humanity for imagining this. Mario minus world. This is one that I'm vaguely familiar with. So this was never meant to be in the game. In the original Super Mario Brothers, there is a glitched level.
You can play through the level, but you can't beat it. I'm gonna have to say this one
Yeah.
is just Bug City. You're just stuck there.
Just the idea though that you could be in Mario minus 1 is crazy.
To me, Mario minus 1 is where I turn it off and go play a fun game. Bug baby! I'm gonna rant here. Because I've been seeing a lot of comments lately. Can we ban Matt from bitching about Nintendo? No. Rocket jumping in Quake.
The way it would work is that one of the original programmers, John Cash from the game, he was cornered in a round of Quake and he decided to take himself out. He thought it'd be hilarious if he shot himself or shot down a rocket and blow everybody up. But what actually happened is he was rocketed up. The Quake devs actually started to incorporate this into map design. So you actually be able to go, hey, I can rocket jump over to this platform, whatever the case is. I would say this is definitionally a bug, but it turned into a feature.
Oblivion Skooma exploit. We could have done this whole video just on Oblivion. If you're not familiar.
I've never played Oblivion.
What?
Never.
It's like Skyrim, but worse.
So what did Skooma do?
So Skooma makes you a lot faster. But if you drink a ton of it at once and using a nice little duplication glitch, basically you could fly.
So basically your speed
you
would
were
just be
doing
so high.
so many drugs that you were flying.
That seems like a normal experience. I don't know what you're talking
And
about.
you just be like, drugs! Fly across the map. We could have done this entire video on Oblivion. This is a good one.
I will say this feels like a classic bug where you've just glitched your way through to flying, which, I mean, there's a lot of flying and like clicking and stuff. This is like a super obvious bug.
I am Error.
I vaguely know the story. So this is from Zelda 2, where there is a villager named Error. And when he introduced himself, he says, I am Error. But there's actually something that was intentional here. So Japanese, there's a similar looking guy named Bagu, or Bug, and it was a joke from the programmer. When this was all translated, he wasn't translated to bug as a funny joke. So most people didn't understand the I am Error thing, right? So basically, the error thing was intentional in the translation, but people didn't understand the context.
Well, excuse me, Error. I think because of the missing context of it, it's a bug.
I think it's a feature, and people are just too dumb to understand the genius of this joke.
Oblivion. Wait, let me do that again. In the original Oblivion, you go and talk to this high elf. You hear her break character.
Yeah,
let me re-record that.
The Imperial Legion compound and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again.
In the remaster, they kept it, and they also lip-synced the character now to the bug.
I was gonna say this is a bug, but because in the remaster they made it better, I think that absolutely makes that feature.
I'm going with bug on this one. A lot of the other ones we've looked at, like, they're bugs, but they like enhance the gameplay. This is just like, why'd they do that? This is just a quality control thing that slipped through the cracks, and then it became infamous, and then it became a joke. GTA
Hot
coffee.
Oh, settle in, my friends. In GTA San Andreas, there was I would say, piece of content, which was a mini game. Remember, this is back in the early 2000s where the GTA games were very, very controversial.
You gained health by sleeping with a prostitute, and then you would murder her and then get your money back.
I don't know why parents were upset about this. There were like congressional inquiries and like bans, and like it was like a huge thing. And one of the biggest things that I think Rockstar did when it came to San Andreas was hiding this minigame. So this is not something that you can actually access in the main game. However, there was a way, if you were a modder, it was shipped on the disc, even though under normal circumstances, you as a user would never be able to actually access it. This obviously would have moved it from a mature rating to an adults only, which was of course the kiss of death. And this was a time in which everyone is sort of moral crusading against video games and GTAs. So the game was actually recalled and it was banned in some countries. And the FTC actually launched an investigation against Take-Two and Rockstar over misleading the ESRB, the rating board. This was not that crazy of a thing to include in GTA, if I'm being very, very honest with you.
If you remember, God of War had something similar. God of War makes way more sense to be mad about than GTA.
Like GTA pushed the envelope in so many ways that it makes sense that they developed this as a sort of little scene. And then some manager at Rockstar goes, you know what? Maybe let's reel that one in. It wasn't a bug. It was a feature, but also it wasn't meant to be in the game.
I'm going with feature.
I'm gonna say it was a bug because it shouldn't have really been in the game. Like you had to do like some tomfoolery to even get to it. The controversy was so overblown.
Donkey Kong level 22. You can't get past level 22 in the original Donkey Kong arcade game.
I would make a joke here, but I would be afraid of being sued by the Donkey Kong master himself.
The game determines the time allowed by taking current time levels times 10 plus 40. Because it's using 8-bit integers, the max value is 255.
255, yes. Which means that if you're on level 22, it's 260.
Yes. So it overflows by 4 seconds.
So basically, this would be the definition of if you make it to level 22, you have beaten the game because it's impossible to make it all the way through a level in 4 seconds.
This was their way of telling you, go touch grass.
Did they just think about the fact that no one would ever be good enough at Donkey Kong to make it to level 22 to begin with? So this was never even found?
I think this is just a limitation of the hardware.
They could have probably fixed this somewhat easily, but because no one had ever made it to level 22 until much later after they had shipped the game, this was a bug. This is a bug.
This is a bug.
This is absolutely a bug. If you're making a modern game, you're just literally going in there, and if there's an error or whatever, it's gonna like flag it. If you were making a game back in the 80s, if you do one byte wrong, your memory could overflow and the whole thing could catch on fire.
Yeah. Next up, we have...
Oh, BLJ. All right, so as someone who is a noted Mario 64 hater, I'll take this one, my friends. The Mario 64 speedrunning community is one of the most entertaining and fun things. It has got to be the greatest speedrunning game of all time. The backwards long jump, or the BLJ, was one of the most famous glitches that was ever found in Super Mario 64. The way it works, with a whole lot of math, is that long jumping multiplies Mario's speed. Now, there's a cap. However, when he's in the air, his speed sort of gets reduced. So basically, if you do a backwards long jump and like in a corner, and you can sort of charge it up. Speedrunners will do this to basically blast through a door. You can BLJ all the way through the door and get to wherever you're going. You cannot watch most Mario 64 speedruns without seeing a runner at least utilize this a number of times. It's also really hard to pull off too. You'll be like an hour into a run and you fuck up your BLJ and then your run is over. I can explain to you how to do it. I don't think I can figure it out. There's a real art to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I will say, I don't know how you feel about Mario 64 speedrunning and BLJs, but this is the coolest bug that turned into a feature ever. We probably got an extra decade of speedruns because of this glitch. No!
I just like...
What are you doing, man? Stop it! Mario 64 is a masterpiece.
Nope. Bug. Next up, we have GTA 4 swing sets.
I'm actually not familiar with this one.
Physics in the GTA games are often hilarious. You're able to drive a car up to them, and then the car is basically on the swing set. It just crunches the car and just flings you.
So it's like the hitboxes are like overlapping.
Yeah.
So you have to basically get the car just right, and it will launch you in the air and probably blow your car up.
Yes.
This is cool, but this feels like a super obvious bug. Although I guess Rockstar never patched it.
No, because people loved it so much.
I would say I really like taking cars in the skate park in GTA 4. That was really fun. This is a bug though. I mean, it's a cool bug, but it's obvious,
fun,
super
but
obvious
it's a bug.
bug.
Yeah. John Romero in Doom 2.
What is this? I've never heard of this in my life.
In the final boss room of map 30, Icon of Sin, weird audio plays and is reversed, and it says, to win the game, you must kill me, John Romero.
Remember when like all kinds of like people were worried about like satanic things that are being done like
in college
reverse?
we used to get high and then play back the Beatles.
In reverse, and you'd hear John and Ringo. So basically, they would lean into this. And the boss actually had John Romero's severed head on a stick behind its face, which you could only find out if you used a no-clip cheat. So basically, the meta joke, if you actually no-clipped and or reversed the audio, was that John Romero was the boss. So you had to shoot him because he was hiding behind the actual boss.
That's as feature as it gets, baby. Like, follow, subscribe. Let us know what your favorite Easter egg in a game was. Let us know what your favorite bug was in a game.
And most importantly, tell Matt that he's wrong about Super Mario 64.
I just don't care about your opinion.
I don't believe that that's true for 1 second.